Hi, welcome guys to this second video of lead code problem solving, and today we are going to solve a problem called as palindrome number it is. Okay, so you can see this problem statement here, right? So this is a problem statement. So it is given an integer x, and we need to check whether it is a palindrome or not. If it is a palindrome, and your method need to return true, or else your method need to return false. So this is the scenario, and you can see when when the input number is 1 to 1, then it is going to be a palindrome. Then we need to return true. If user given number is minus 1 to 1, the negative number is not a palindrome, right? So we can't able to return it true, so we are just going to return false. Okay, so first we need to know what is palindrome, right? So here is the definition. Okay, so you can see here, so when you are reading a number from left to right and from right to left, then it is going to give you the same value. Okay, so those numbers are called as palindrome numbers. Okay, so let's see how to code for this scenario. Okay, so you can see here we have a class solution, and inside the class we have a method which is palindrome, and in this method they are providing a number as a parameter, that is x, right? So now we need to check whether this x is a palindrome or not. So let us copy this number and let's have another variable num, which is going to carry the value of x. And second one, we need to reverse the number, right? If we need to check whether the x is palindrome or not, then we need to reverse the number and we need to check, right? So I'm just having a number reverse, which is going to carry a value 0 for now, because we are just going to reverse the number and we are just going to store that number here in reverse REV variable. Okay, so now how we can reverse? So we are just going to use while loop, and we are just going to reverse this num, because num is going to carry the value of x, right? So we are just going to reverse until this num is greater than 0, because what we are going to do, just assume that. So let's say here I'm just explaining how we are going to do this. Okay, so assume that user is given a number 1 to 1. Okay, so let's say this is x. Okay, now we need to reverse this number. For reversing, what I am saying is I'm just going to say it is 1 to 5, so that we can able to know how it getting reversed, right? So let's say x is 1 to 5. Okay, now we need to have a reverse number which is going to carry 5 to 1, right? So this is going to be the reverse number. So we need to get this number from this x. So how we can do this? You can see the first number of the reverse number is going to be the last digit, right? So we can able to get the last digit, right? How we can get the last digit of a decimal number? When you are dividing a decimal number by 10, then the remainder is going to be the last digit of your decimal number, right? So let's say, so in loop 1, first time when it getting loop, so what we are going to do is we are just going to divide this x by 10. Okay, so now you are going to get a remainder, right, which is 5, right? So now we have a variable here, right, which is reverse. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add this 5 here. Okay, so how I'm going to add? Let's say I'm just going to add by multiplying this reversed number into 10, because if I get the second number, then I just say I give the second number as 2, then I need to add it to 5 and 2, right? So I need to move a place of the first number, right? So to move a place value, so I'm just multiplying it by 10, right? So plus I am just going to add this 5. Okay, Now the reverse is going to carry a value which is 5. Okay, because here it is 0 plus 10, so 0 into 10 is equal to 0 and plus 5 equal to 5. Okay, now this reverse will have value 5. Okay, now we are going to then we are going to remove this last value from x. Okay, how we are going to remove? We are just going to remove last value, right? So we have something called as floor division, which is going to give the quotient, right? When you are dividing this 125 by 10, then it is going to give remainder 5, then the quotient will be 12, right? So here we are just going to change this value to 12. How we are going to do that? By implementing this one, that is x floor division by 10 is going to give you 12. So now this x is going to carry value 12. Okay, now we are just going to continue this loop again. So this loop is going to execute it second time. Now x is carrying a value of 12, right? So when it is executing second time, it is going to give a remainder 2. 12 divided by 10, then remainder is absolute 2, right? So now what it is going to do? Now in this reverse we have 5 already, right? So now we need to add this 2 after 5, right? So for that what we are doing is 5 into 10, which is nothing but 50, and we are just going to add this 2 here. Now you are going to get value 52. Okay, so now your reverse is going to be 52. So after getting 52, now we need to remove this 2, right? That is, we need to take the quotient. So here again we are just going to divide 12 by 10, then we are going to get 1 as x value, right? So now again this loop is going to be executed third time because x is still greater than 0, right? 1 is still greater than 0, so it is going to be executed. Now 1 modulus 10 is going to be 1, right? 1 modulus 10 is going to be 1, right? And next thing, now we are going to implement this here. So already in reverse we have 52. 52 into 10, it is going to be 520, and we have 1 as remainder. We are just going to add this one, then we are going to get 521, right? And when we divide 1 by 10, then it is going to return you 0, right? So now this x value is going to be 0 and reversed number is going to be 521. And now when the loop tries to execute the fourth time, then x is 0, which is not greater than 0, then the loop is going to be exit. Now we are just going to compare this reversed number with the original number, and if both the numbers are same, then we are going to return true. If both the numbers are not same, then we are going to return false. Okay, come on, let's do it in a programming. So this is the thing, right? So we are going to run this loop until this number is greater than 0. Okay, so in this loop what we are going to do, we are just going to find the remainder, right, which is num modulus 10 is going to be the remainder, right? So for the first time it is going to give say if it is 1 to 5, then it is going to give 5, right? So then the second step, what we need to do, we need to add that remainder to our reversed number, right? So we have a reversed number which is equal to reversed number into 10 plus the remaining number, right? So after adding this to the reversed number, then we need to reduce our number, right? So for that, number equal to number divided by 10, which is going to give you the quotient value. Okay, so this thing is going to be executed until this number is greater than 0. Once it is greater than 0, okay, so let me do one thing. I'm just moving a step. Okay, when up to this number is greater than 0, then it is going to be executed. Once we get num equal to 0, then this loop is going to be getting exit, right? So now once it is getting exit, we are just going to check whether the x is equal to reversed number, right? And also we need to check once, that is if a number is reversed, okay, if a number is reversed and if that number is less than 0, that is if it is a negative number, then we are not going to give it a return true, right? So for that I am just going to use another and here I need to check whether x is greater than or equal to 0. If it is greater than or equal to 0 only, what we are going to do, we are just going to return true. Okay, so if it is not in else, we are just going to return false. Okay, hope it will work. So I execute the code. Hopefully it is accepted, and I'm just going to submit the code. And yes, my code is getting submitted, right? Code is getting submitted and it is executed in 42 milliseconds, right? Somewhere around here. Okay, so hope you understood, and we will have one program daily. Okay, let me see you in the next video with another lead code problem. Bye bye guys.